Hi there, I'm Jeannie Street. It's my life mission to connect you to your soul's truth and to the miracles that will heal all the broken pieces from within you, causing you to feel alone in your life. We live in a world that has taught us it's okay to live as if we're separate beings from God. The separation stories continue, and they tell us that you are disconnected from your departed loved ones and angels, as if life was meant to live lonely, hard, and even joyless at times. And while the fact is that we all have soul lessons and life experiences to navigate through, the idea that you're supposed to do it all alone, that's an untruth. I know because my angels guided me out of my own isolated, painful life and into an abundant one. No more feeling unsupported, lonely, or sad. I've got you. It's why you are here and why God put me on this earth, to remind you that you are not alone, that your soul is infinite, and you are meant to thrive, not just survive. I invite you into my world of conversation, messages from heaven, guidance from your angels, and inspirational readings and moments that will fill your heart and soul with God's grace and love. Get ready for pure miracle moments to flow into your life. Welcome to Angels Don't Lie. Welcome everybody to Angels Don't Lie. And these sessions I've set up as a way for us to have really great conversations in the vibration of love. So, for me, that's connection, that's deep stories, that's heart-centered, that's getting to the heart of the problem and being really expansive with our communication. So tonight, my beautiful guest, and I know all of you know her that are here, which is really beautiful, is Denise Cox. And those that are going to be joining later, she's going to tell you all about who she is and her purpose, her passion, and her difficult journey that she's been on. So Denise, I'll let you kind of introduce yourself.
My name is Denise, and Denise Cox. I live in New Milford, Connecticut, and I've lived here for 25 years with my husband, and I have raised two children here. One of them is married, lives in North Carolina. I have three grandchildren. And then I have a younger daughter. Her name is Marta. She was adopted at the age of 2.5. And right now she's in a school, therapeutic school, boarding school in Montana. She's been out there for about 3 years. So about it's about 10 years now, my mother was diagnosed with lung cancer. And she fought for a good hard 9 years. And through that, I was able to learn a lot about processing and how to handle taking care of someone through that journey. And then that was now it's almost 2 years ago. And then about a year, and it's been 7 months ago since my husband was diagnosed right after my mother was diagnosed, or after she passed, right 15 days before she passed. My husband was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and he passed a year and a month later. And then during that, it was good because I did get to learn from my father how to handle that and take care of my husband. And I also had a lot of support from my family, from my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law. We were a team every day. We were together. And so it happened really fast and kind of unexpectedly, because we were hoping that he would beat the disease. And 3 years, like I said, 3 years ago, my daughter went into therapeutic boarding school. So now I'm in a home that used to be full of laughter and good times, and I'm here alone. So
Can we talk a little bit about, the journey of grief, Denise, because it began even before Spencer became sick. It really kind of started, I think, in my eyes, with Marta, with the the suffering that you had to endure and she was enduring, and as a mother, how difficult that was for you.
Yeah, I mean, I struggled a lot with sending her to away. She had to go to a school because she was having a lot of challenges in her life that my husband and we together decided to do what we did, and it was difficult because we wanted children so badly, and we adopted her. And she had been diagnosed with RAD, which is reactive attachment disorder. Um, and she went to the first school because it became like an emotional issue. And I don't know if anybody knows anything about RAD or reactive attachment disorder, but basically you can't reason depending on the level of it. Um, and that was really hard because I wanted to be a mom so badly, and I couldn't help my daughter with her challenges. And the first school she went to, she was doing well, but she educationally she wasn't picking up, and the processing issue got worse and worse. So we brought her home, we had her tested, and we had thought that the school district at the time had done all the appropriate testing. And when we had the testing done, it turned out that she had very extreme learning disabilities. So she was actually in the wrong school the first time, although that school did help her in some ways. Then she went to another school in Oregon, and Spencer and I would go back and forth, and we would be with her. Um, and then we soon learned 9 months after that school, they said we can't help her anymore. So now she's in another boarding school, and our relationship is becoming stronger. Losing her father was extremely hard, but I actually spoke with her last night, and we were talking about she has a lot of guilt and shame because losing her father she wasn't always nice. So, and she can't go back and do a do-over now, and she really understands that, and that's hard. So I'm helping her through that journey right now. It's been difficult. It's not easy. um,
And
because
you have a stepdaughter,
because
I'm sorry, as well.
yeah, I have a stepdaughter that I raised at 14 on, and she's doing well. She's managing. She's also going through a divorce, but I'm so proud of her because she's actually, as a single mother, she's doing it on her own. She's not having any assistance, and she's really killing it. I mean, she's working hard. I wish things were a little different for her, that they were easier, but I think it'll build her character. And my goal with her is to just remain steady and be supportive and be a role model to her and my other daughter. So the two of them together, it's not easy. It hasn't been an easy journey, but I feel like it's a gift that I'm supposed to keep giving to. And eventually, I mean, my relationship with my older daughter, it goes up and down. She came from also a family that was broken. So the trauma has been difficult to deal with both the girls. But and my husband and I were very much a team together, and we always bounce the ideas off of each other. But I'm learning how to handle it by myself. I ask a lot of questions where I didn't ask as many questions. Now I know the right questions to ask, especially like we're having more testing on my younger daughter done for processing. And I was given two different doctors and two different prices, and they were huge differences. And I said, I don't care what the price is. What are you doing? What are you testing? And then I learned that because I asked a lot of questions, that they gave me answers, and they actually said, we're really impressed with the amount of information you have. So it's a journey. Everything is a journey, and you just have to take it one step at a time. And so we're having more testing done, but we found out we can't do as much testing as we would have liked to. So, but that's only because you can only test her IQ every 3 years. There's certain tests you can only do every so often.
So tonight session, we kind of talked about, the topic, and purpose in the midst of grief was what we kind of came up with together, pairing, what I know about you as my friend, and somebody that's so spiritual and so aligned, and to me is going through this grief with, um, I don't know, I just want to say, like, with the most beautiful open heart. You know, what does that look like for you?
Um, I think because I was very present during my mother and my husband. They were my two of my closest people in my life and my confidants and my energy. I got all my energy from them. And um, now it's a different type of love. It's more of a love of um, that's that's heavenly. It's almost like I feel so held. And somebody said to me, "How do you feel so loved when you've lost so much?" But when you have the kind of love, especially my husband and I, that we had, like we got each other, and now I feel like he's supporting me even more. I just feel his presence very much everywhere I go, and I feel that the things that I've been wanting to do I haven't been able to execute because I was busy taking care of other people. And I love doing all that I did. I wouldn't change anything. But I've found now that I have even more reason to fulfill my own purpose. I have a jewelry business, and I have a core line of purpose, unity, harmony, and light. And all of them have meaning and they tell a story. Um, and the first one started with purpose, which was for my daughter, my youngest daughter, and lapis was the color of the stone that I used, and that was her color that surrounded her. So everything I've done, there's a lot of reason behind, but I have the time now, especially with COVID, I've had the time to really center myself. And instead of taking this time that we've had and looking at the negative and what I don't have, I spend a lot of time thinking about and focusing on what I do have, because I have a lot. I have a lot of great friends and family that believe in me, and I've been able to create my own energy based with all of that support together that's actually bringing me to developing what I'm doing. And I feel great energy. I'm doing things like exercising and eating well that make me feel good rather than going the other way, which would be so easy to do. But the more I do that's positive, the more energy I get to have a better life and love myself. Like,
Can you share the ways that you feel Spencer, or the signs that he's sending you and your mom, and are they different?
oh yeah. First of all, since my grandmother died, like many years ago, like 15 years ago, there's been this bird that comes and perches on my front doorstep, and it has babies, and I named her June. And it's almost like a zoo. And I laugh about it because I have a bird feeder my girlfriend gave me. I put it on the window, and then the squirrel came and he was jumping on it and slamming his body against it. And my sister said, that's Spencer, because he was feisty and he would always he was just full of energy and good spirit. So, but Spencer, I just feel like he's so excited for me to do what I want to do with my jewelry and my life. And he told me right before he passed away, that he wanted me to be um, just keep going and don't give up, and to be as big as I could be, and live life full, like we lived it together. We lived life together so full. And he always said, if I were to die tomorrow, and he would say it all the time, I don't have any regrets. And he didn't have any regrets, other than we didn't have enough time left together. Like, we could have kept going and still had the most incredible. He built something in his world. It was his dream to own a race shop and have um, and he created such a great enterprise for 21 different families, and it has a vintage department, and it has a speed racing department, and the people that work there have such passion because of the passion that he had, and then it carried on through the people, which is what he does for me. The passion that he had for life, I have even more so, and I can actually focus on myself, but I feel him. I just feel his energy around me, and I feel his love. And it's interesting because that kind of love that you have with a person, when it's coming from heaven or whatever you believe, it's the biggest love that you can have. So, and I've had a lot of experiences, and this is why I'm comfortable to speak in this forum, because I'm actually very, very shy in this way. Like I always wanted to be private, but I went out to Colorado to visit one of my best friends. And funny enough, there's a woman who's at the Bible study, and she starts talking about her experience raising a child just like Marta. And the tears started flying. And what I learned from her was what she said was, if you love unconditionally like Jesus loves us in all of our sin and all the things that we have that maybe we don't do so well, he loves us unconditionally. So our job as a parent is to love that child unconditionally, and then that's what we're supposed to do. It just made it so crystal clear to love Marta that way, to love Spencer that way. And by being present during the whole situation, it was very sad. I miss him every day. There isn't a day that I don't look at his picture and wish he was here, but I feel like he gives me more energy, more power, because it's a different kind of love. It's heavenly. It's like coming from above.
Denise, when you talk about being present, like I know what you mean, but can you explain what that looks like for you? Because I think that's a conscious decision to like be in the moment. So
Yeah,
what did that look like for you?
when I went, I think, and I was guilty of this because we had so many different challenges. We had Marta, we had Heather, we had the business, the failing business, the starting over, the how are we going to pay our bills? How are we going to do the things that we want to accomplish? That was hard. That was challenging. And I think you lose track of the time that you spend where it's most important to spend. And we figured that out. We figured that out, and we were very present with one another. So that was a gift that Spencer gave to me, that my dad gave to me, because and I learned it from a very good friend. She said, just no matter what you do, be present, because then you take it all in to its fullest, rather than it somehow going away and wishing you could go back and do something that you can't do it anymore. So if you live in your life in a very present way, and you choose to do things that are good for you, good for the people around you, the people that you spend time with, where you go, who you talk to, if you're very conscious in that decision and you're present where you are, your life, there is no question. It's almost like it happens organically, because you can actually focus on what you're doing. If it doesn't feel right, you know how if you're with some certain people and it doesn't feel right to be with them because you feel uncomfortable because of what they're talking about, or it's that kind of a thing. Like, to make that decision to do and to be what you want to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask Denise? I see Mary has her hand up, so I'm not sure if that means you have a question or if you hit that by accident.
I don't know.
So when you talk about being, I love that you talk about being present during your mom's illness and even Spencer's, but what does it look like now when you're being present for yourself in this grief and in your life of like rebuilding?
Um, I just, I am very busy. I keep myself busy because I don't want to go into the sad place that I could easily go into, because I miss him so much and I miss my mom. And Um, but I'm grateful for what I had because I was so loved. Even though they went away, I was still loved. And now I have this opportunity to get that with my daughter. So I still have one, even though she's not here present with me, she still is. I have that chance that I can really hope that we can connect at some point. So,
And now going forward in your business is kind of evolving in this, even though with COVID, we're at this standstill and everything that you've been through personally, your business is like, it's like blooming almost.
it really is. It's exciting, and I'm becoming very. I'm seeing a vision that I've seen, but I didn't know what it really looked like until I had to go through all the things that I had to go through to evolve and to grow and to understand really what my purpose was. And I can go back to that talk that I heard in Colorado, and I feel like that woman gave me the greatest gift, because if I kept secret what I have or what I know, then I couldn't help other people. So in the hardest times you have, the biggest challenges you have, you can choose to grow and become and evolve to be a bigger person, or you can just kind of dig a hole and go in there. And it feels so good to say what I feel. And it's healing to me, and I hope it heals somebody else or helps somebody else, because I do live in a very big state of gratitude and being thankful for my health that I have, thankful for the home that I have that my husband provided for me. Thank you. I'm thankful that I know the right questions to ask, because all the times that we didn't know and we didn't have the understanding what to ask. So instead of thinking of what I don't have, I'm thankful that I know what those questions are to ask now, this time, moving forward. And my business, it's just becoming so crystal clear what it's going to look like. It'll be worldwide. It's going to be much bigger than I thought. And I'm excited about it. There's a fear. There's definitely a basis of fear there, because I have my core line, I have my private label line, and my little line, the line that I do for special orders. And in my private label line, I want to go into major retailers. And as you know, many of you know, a lot of places are closing or calling for Chapter 11. So somebody might say, well, why would you continue? I just have this belief, and I wouldn't have these ideas if they weren't supposed to come true. And every time, like I just saw my latest CAD design right before this meeting, and it was Harmony, which is my newest line that I'm creating. And like my factory said, you nailed it. It's outstanding. And it's going to be actually from your talk, Billy. I woke up in the middle of the night and I said, harmony is diversity, because when we can all live together in unity together, then we have diversity is meeting with one another and we create unity. It just all goes together. Like the story that's evolving and coming out is actually, it's telling its own story, which is so beautiful, because it all starts with your personal purpose. These are all part of my storylines, but it starts with your personal purpose within, and then you can reach out into unity, into the community. And then when you get to the community and the unity, you have diversity, like we all know. And if that can all go together, it's a very beautiful world. And so it's a story. But it's the story of my life and the hard places I've been and the dark places, but it's starting to show me so much light. It almost all sounds so ironic, because light is my last line, but it all works together and it's just beautiful. And I get excited about that. So,
So there's that purpose in the midst of grief.
yeah.
Ask a question.
Yeah, sure.
So you talked about your vision and you talked about your purpose. I'm just wondering, was it an aha moment? Was it a gradual transition? Like, how did that how did you have that vision that right in front of you, like, this is it? Like, was there a moment?
There's definitely moments that that I will get those aha moments, but it's all part of the evolving of myself, evolving and learning what's important, what's not important. I mean, if I look back at myself 10 years ago, I am not the same person. I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago. And my dad said, when your mom dies, you're going to change. Things will change. The way you look at the world, the way you look at relationships, the value that you put on things. And then I had no idea 15 days before my mom passed that my husband was going to get diagnosed with the worst cancer in the world. And we had so much hope. And I stayed present. I was like on a mission to take care of him and make sure he was comfortable. There was nothing I could do. Everybody was doing everything they could do to help him. And so I just realized that that's where, and so in those times, in those dark times, you find you evolve, and then things come, they just become more crystal clear, but you have to go through the challenges to get to the light. And that's, the dark goes to the light, right?
But where is your faith? I think that's another really big factor. Do you feel like you could be where you are today without your faith?
Never. No. My faith is what grounds me and what gives me I guess the energy. That's on my husband's tombstone, that I finished the race, but I kept the faith, because that's what it is. So,
It's ginormous, like it's so beautiful the way you have, as your friend, witnessing how you've honored your mother and honored Spencer, and even the service and the party following, like, the celebration of life that you did for Spencer, along with his mom and his sister. It was taking it all in for me. I was in awe of, wow, how beautiful it all came together. And do you want to speak on that a little bit?
because it was a celebration. His life was tremendous. He touched so many people along the way, and there wasn't anybody who wouldn't help. But he was such an amazing man, and I feel like he's still living in me, and that gives me that energy. So it's very beautiful. It really is, and it's a gift. I don't look at it and say, oh, poor me. I look at it and say, what else can I learn? What else can I give to help somebody else? So, and that's healing to me.
You've had so many things in your life, throughout your life, that have brought you to that place of faith. Many journeys into pain. You had an accident as a young woman, working through trying to have a child for all those years. So a lot of heartache, but you still continue to hold your faith, which time and time again, I think, well, I'm just curious, I'm like, what that looks like for you. Did you ever falter in that faith, or did you always just hold it so close?
Yeah, I did. I grew up that way. My husband grew up that way. We shared that together. So, I went to church growing up every Sunday. I know my husband did a lot of that. But we always had that together. And when even when we got, it was really when we got a little bit older, we would say, wow, we really hit it off with those people. And it always had people that we would have working with us that it felt like you could really trust them. The common denominator in those relationships was that they were believers. I don't criticize if you don't believe. I just think that it just enriches us. It enriched us so much. And we were so blessed to have that. It gave us such peace. So, and I just know he's looking down, and I know that that'll continue to keep my wings going because
Mhm.
I have to, I choose to have something to believe in, because if I didn't, I don't know where I'd be. I don't know.
We've had some really beautiful conversations, where Spencer had come through and some things that he had shown up, and I just wondered if you would shown up in those big signs. That's what I was looking for you to kind of share, because I think a lot of us have those things happen, but we might poo-poo them and push them away.
So he shows up in rainbows, which is kind of interesting. And in bluebirds, when he first, blue jays actually, when he first passed, the first day I was home, there was like three blue jays in my front yard, which are very, I think they're protective birds. Um, and then when my sister and I were going over to the shop, we had to get some paperwork or something. Uh, there was a huge rainbow in the sky. It was like a cloudy day. It wasn't really, wouldn't make sense that it was there. So from then on, I kind of just see rainbow. Like he shows me rainbows in my kitchen, like on the floor, like, but there's no light there, or I'll see it in the kitchen sink. Or the other day I was on the phone with my friend and they were across my face. It just, and I just feel warm. I feel his warmth. So, um,
And how about your dog?
well, she barks at his chair, and when I talk about him, she definitely has a lot to say herself. It's almost like she sees him or something, and she follows things around as though they're there. And I'm like, what is this with the dog? It she is almost like a sixth sense she has. So
Animals definitely have that ability to really see angels and spirits. So whenever I've gone to people's houses, their animals always like want to be in on the conversation and have like, oh yes, you can see, I can see too. They get very excited.
yeah, so
Beautiful. If you could tell someone who is having their worst nightmare how to go through it, what would be your recommendation?
just my first thing would be to be present and be as much with that person in the moment, every moment, because every moment is the past and then the future will come, and you don't really know what that holds. If I have met a lot of widows since my husband passed, and we all share the same. The gratitude is very big for me. Also, just being thankful for what I do have and not what I don't have. Um, and I just feel so loved. I think if you can be present and as much as you can, just believe in that, it just gives you strength. Um, that's what I would say. So gratitude and definitely presence.
I love that. I think that's amazing advice. Number one, that being present, which isn't always something that is easy to do when we're charged up with anxiety, or what am I going to do, or how's this going to, like, we go into the future, what's it going to look like, or where to go, instead of being in the moment and just finding that peace, finding that space, finding love.
Yeah. Because it comes back to you at the end of the day. When they're gone, you're still here. So if you can find love in them through yourself, then you're still going. You're still here. You still have to keep going, or you don't. You can choose not to. I am part of the hospice group. The people are much older than I am, and one of the conversations I had with one of the guys the other day was he was feeling very guilty because his wife had passed on. They had been married for like 50 years. And I said, well, but why are you being guilty? Why do you feel guilty about something that you did 20 years ago because he wasn't as present with his wife because he was providing for his family? And I said, because that's what we're supposed to do. That's what you know. Isn't it always true that you, 10 years later, you're like, why was that so important to me? Why is that important to me that I took 2 minutes to think about that? Because as we evolve and as we grow, we learn from our mistakes or the things that were important and they're not. But if you can always find your purpose in and your presence with that person, then they will carry on through you. I find that's how I feel.
So what do you think about guilt then? Let's talk about that a little bit, because I think so many of us, so many people live with guilt about, moving on after the loved one passes, or things like you said, bad behavior or something that happened, and or they just feel guilty even being in grief, like they don't want to spread that. What is your view on guilt?
There was things in our marriage like that we had that I felt guilt. Not, I wouldn't say I felt guilty. I was just trying to figure things out as he was trying to figure things out. So we didn't do things perfectly. But the one thing that I feel is that I'm held. Like he's saying, it's okay. It's okay to make a mistake, Denise. It's not, I was hard on you for that. It's almost a sense of forgiveness. And if you spend your time thinking about what you did wrong, you're still here. You're still having the opportunity for the next minute. You're going to take a breath of air. So why would you? That's what I said to my friend. I said, why would you focus on something 20 years ago that at the time you thought you were doing the very best that you could do? And now you know the difference. You know that you wouldn't have done that way, but at the time, that's what you thought you were supposed to do. So I think of those things as learning. And then when you move on and you're going to move forward, you can actually just do it differently now. But don't waste your time on what was or what you didn't do or what you didn't say. My personal thing with my husband was we said and did everything we needed to do and say. And I think we all took that time. My family was very respectful that way. We all gave each other time where we could be alone with him. We knew he was going to pass away. We were present for one another. We were present for each other, and we were present with him. So like, I don't have any regrets, and I feel bad when people say that, because why would you spend your time in such a negative way? I don't know.
So let's open up and let's have some conversation. Anybody feel like they'd like to add or ask Denise a question, or maybe talk about their own grief journey?
I don't know if she addressed this, but how long ago did Spencer pass?
He passed on November 24th of 2019. So it's just only been 7 months.
Oh gosh, sorry.
Thank you.
I'll share my story. 25 years ago, I lost my mom and my grandmother 9 months apart, and that was very hard. And 4 years ago, I lost my 23-year-old son, just passing his sleep, just heart failure. In less than 4 weeks, it'll be the 4-year anniversary. And it's just been, I don't wish it on any parent for them to lose a child. But we did what we had to do to learn how to live the new normal, as they call it.
Yeah.
We did the grief counseling, we did the support groups, my family and friends and co-workers. I leaned on them for support, my husband, and we have a daughter. So we've learned that life does go on. And like you said, you have to be present. And I do get signs from him all the time. The day that we laid him to rest, a hummingbird came to me. And even when I go on vacation, I see hummingbirds and I know it's him saying he's with us and that we need to enjoy our vacations. And so I have a pretty neat collection of hummingbirds that I don't know if you see behind me, but I have up there a hummingbird calendar. I always have hummingbirds wherever I go, and people give me anything they find with hummingbirds. I don't have it on today, but I have several necklaces with hummingbirds, and I know that he's with me. And even though he had 23 short years, like you said, you can't focus on what you don't have. I focus on the good times that we did have together.
That's right. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for sharing. My heart goes out to you.
Thank you. I like your hair, Jean. Jean or Jeannie?
Jeannie.
I love it.
That is the big question, though. My mom says it's Jean, and I go by Jeannie. But
Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else?
I just want to thank Denise for sharing. You have had so much. I've known you for many years, and watching you speak tonight, Denise, is just the strength that comes through in your speech, in your soul, in your eyes. You're an inspiration. And I learned just today something brand new. There's so much of your history I thought I knew, and I didn't know it all. And the beauty of you saying you were present, and really what the level of presence that you brought always to every time we talked or anytime you give, that is truly such a gift. I struggled doing that myself, and I look to you. I will remember what you said tonight, and you've inspired me again to say, you know what, it's important to know where you are, enjoy it, appreciate it for what it is, because it's a gift. And when you don't spend it here in the now, you're wasting it. So it's a beautiful thing you shared tonight, and thank you. I pray that, there are so much that you and Spencer have built that I have every faith that will continue to grow because of that beautiful.
Thank you.
So thank you.
You're welcome. It's been very humbling because all his friends, all of his workers, they at every chance they can, they thank me for the opportunity that they have for their families. That his legacy will live on for a very long time. And through his daughters and just everybody he touched, he had such a magnificent soul. He gave of himself so unconditionally. So you can imagine me as his wife. That is such a great loss, but it is such a great gift at the same time. So that's how I do look at that. And his coworkers, the people that he worked with, they sent me videos of their kids on skateboards, playing the drums, their little 2-year-olds that we gave an opportunity for their life. And that makes me so proud.
Oh yeah. And he worked hard to build what he had. And it was beautiful. It was amazing. And it still continues to thrive, which is
right. And that's what's so beautiful about it. And they are every one of them is so humbly thankful for that. And so I get the gift of receiving the Thanksgiving again and again. So that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool when somebody, like, as simple as like my purpose ring, when they hold it up and they say, "This gets me through my hard days. Thank you for the inspiration you give me." It's that little thank you, or that little, just, those are the biggest gifts in life that I know. And we shared that together as a husband and wife. So
our life was complicated, but it was also so incredibly beautiful. So I have a lot to still give, and he's there right by me the whole
yeah.
time.
I
So
see it in you. I see it in you.
And Denise, as somebody that like I knew Spencer and you obviously for a long time, you had great faith in him. And when somebody holds faith in you, the way you held faith in Spencer, you're able to do and live your purpose. You're able to shine because there's this belief, there's this love that's supporting you and holding you. I just want you to recognize that, you know, you are an amazing soul.
thank you. Thank you. And I will every single time I share anything, I will thank that woman in Colorado. I thank you, Kristen, for introducing me to her and meeting Michelle. They're there on this, because that gave me a voice to be able to share. And I thank you for your thanks, because I'm passing it forward, paying it forward, only what someone did for me. It's not easy, because it's not easy to say those things, but if there's something good that can come from it, then it's all worth it at the end. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody else want to share or ask Denise a question? No, I know this is hard for so many of us to hear. So many of you have lost your loved ones, and Melissa, I'm sending you love. I feel you, honey. I feel you.
Thank you. I'm just having a really hard time lately. Today is 10 months, so I'm coming up on my year anniversary. And the only thing I can say is it's just this deep, like a part of me is missing that I just can't. The missing of him is so strong. And I'm sorry for anyone that doesn't know my situation. I lost my husband last August to an overdose. And we have she'll be 3 in October, a little girl. And it's just, I take it day by day, but it's just that missing of him that I can't overcome yet.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Try to think of the good, and try to think of the good and the good memories.
I do. And I feel like I do good, and then I have bad, like I just go on a bad run. Then I am better for a little bit, and it's been a lot of firsts in this year that I've had to
Oh yeah. I know.
overcome. And when people say it gets easier, I really have a hard time at this point still believing that. So, but I know he's watching me, and I know he's with me. But some days that's still just doesn't feel like enough, and I'm trying to work on the positive of that.
Melissa, I hope that listening to Denise's story about being present and just turning inward and just being grateful for the little things that will help you to, you know, it isn't big steps, it's those little things that matter, right? Like today, right now, you're doing great. Today you're held. We're holding you.
Thank you.
Just have one thing to say to Melissa. my motto has been one day at a time. That's all we can do. You're going to have good days and you're going to have what I call not so good days. Because
Yeah.
any day that we are here is a good day. So I don't like to call them bad days. So
Okay.
you stay strong. It's
Thank you.
easier said than done,
Yes.
but it does get easier with
Okay.
time. Never, you will always feel that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. It's not an easy thing to do, and you're brave, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome. Denise, will you share a little bit of your jewelry? Can you maybe show us, literally show us some of your pieces and tell us a little
Yeah.
bit? Okay, great.
This is Unity. It's just the regular, band that I have, and I have a stone in it. I have this is Purpose. Unity comes from purpose. So this is my logo. It's actually my cuff. So it's my initials. And somebody asked me one day, what does that mean? What does the DC mean? And the DC, I was like, everything I do with purpose. Everything has a meaning. So my logo became and represents purpose. And then the Unity came after that. And I started this with a very good friend of mine, Dorian, at her wellness studio that she has in Flemington. And she's always helping women with their entire being. So that was really cool that we started with purpose and then we went to Unity. And then I was hired from the Museum of the City of New York. I was asked to do a couple lines based on their architecture. So I went in and I chose their light fixture, which is, it's actually won many awards, and it's on 104th and 5th Avenue in Manhattan. And so we are collaborating our brands together. And I also did another design pieces that are done for the floor, which is a rotunda floor. So that was a huge honor. And right before my husband passed, he got to go in and see it. And he was really proud. And he met all the people. It was really cool. And they said to me, how do you keep coming? How do you keep, like, with your husband so sick? And I said, because my dad told me I have to go out when he gets his chemo, and my mother-in-law would stay with him, and I would go out and do things, because then the rest of the time I would take care of him. And so my brand was born there. And I just did something for another person who was on here earlier for Evolve Pink. That's my private label section, and that's for breast cancer and survivors after they go through their treatment and what they do with themselves to take care of themselves after they survive cancer. So it's all very close to my heart. I met another widow that her husband died of pancreatic cancer, so we're going to collaborate on something. And it's my honor to do these projects and help people and learn about other challenges people have. I have one of my goddaughters has epilepsy, and I've done things for her, juvenile epilepsy, and we've worked on programs for teen suicide and opioid overdosing, and because these are hard topics to talk about, but the bracelets that I designed for them, they are all about opening up a platform for people to have conversation, which is really, really cool, because when you can talk about a hard topic like teen suicide, if your kid is in the hospital, you don't want anybody to know. But if you all of a sudden you're surrounded by moms that get you and fathers that get you, you're so held. It's the same thing as being a widow. It's not ever something I wanted to be, but the love that I've had from the people, it's incredible. It's so huge. So sometimes talking about a hard thing can lead to
a really beautiful thing. So this crying has got to stop.
No, it's beautiful. It's real, and this is
So,
hard. Like you said, this is a hard topic, grief. And
yeah.
Denise,
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Hi, Michelle.
everyone on this call. Denise, I just want to tell you how proud I am of you. I'm a new friend in Denise's life. I'm also a widow, and you're so articulate, and God is healing you in such beautiful ways. And you realize how everybody has a story. And as you are so articulate in your story, you bring so much purpose to the pain, so much purpose to the grief, and you see your life is still full, and that message is beautiful. And thank you for sharing it with us and giving us hope, whatever our story is, because everyone here has a story. And just that message of hope and purpose is beautiful. You share it articulately, and I just want to thank you. You're doing a beautiful job.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's so beautiful, Denise.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming and listening, and I hope I touched your hearts.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Let's wrap it up. If anybody else has a comment or a question, go ahead and bring that through. Is everybody feeling like, I feel like everybody, I don't even have to ask this question, but I know everybody felt you and was moved by your story and took away and is going to take away something purposeful. And if it's just that one thing, I think it'd be being present and being grateful.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming and supporting Denise and her story and her beautiful light and sharing. Denise, I can't thank you enough. I know, when this goes to the podcast, so many people are going to be touched and it's going to help them. Can you tell them where they can find you though? So that would be another beautiful thing.
Sure. My website is being redone right now, and I'm very excited about it. It's a totally fresh, new look. But on my old website, because so when you go to my website, it's just my name, Denise Cox Designs. There's a place that you can put your email address in, and then I'm capturing. You can always email me, call me. I'm easy, just easy to talk to. If you ever want to just pick up the phone, I'm here. I love to listen. So I've become a better listener, something I'm working on and always will be. So I'm an open door. And so thank you for your beautifulness, everyone.
We're looking forward to seeing all your designs and your new fun project.
I have a lot up my sleeve, and I'm very excited about it. It's really becoming crystal clear, and I think the tears come because it's overwhelming. It's just so beautiful that it's like, I don't know, I speak from my heart, because if you looked at my life, you wouldn't say it's beautiful. But if you looked at my heart, that's where it's beautiful. So that's what I keep.
You're the most beautiful person I know, Denise. Inside out, everything. Just your gift. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you everyone for coming. And you can all leave Denise a little message here or a little love if you want. And I hope you have a beautiful night. Thank you. I know Doreen.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
God bless you, Denise. Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, Denise. Love you.
Thank you. Have a good night, ladies.
The truth when she smiles at